Pleased to be joined on the call by the head coach at Villanova, Mark Ferrante. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Rob. How are we doing today?
I'm well. I hope you are too. 29-16 win for your team over you, Albany, fifth in a row. What did you like most about the way your team performed?
Yeah, our guys, hung in there. We fought hard. I told them prior to the game, we knew what Albany was going to give us. They were going to give us a team that came in is going to, fight, play hard, try to smack you around a little bit, and play very physical. And that's exactly what we got. Um, it wasn't the cleanest of games, on the offensive side of the ball. We didn't execute really as well as we should have, and obviously, I'll credit Albany's defense for doing part of that as well. Special teams, we did pretty well, and after the short field that we gave our defense in the opening drive of the game, Albany took the opening drive 46 yards and scored and took the lead early on. Our defense, played really well and tightened up. I think we held them to, I think, three or four consecutive three and outs after that opening drive. So we got exactly what we anticipated from Albany. They're going to come in and play their tail off. And, Coach Ambrose had those guys, flying off the football. They kind of, on defensive line versus our offensive line, probably controlled the line of scrimmage at times better than we had hoped. We were looking to obviously win the battle in the trenches a little better, but a win's a win. We'll take them any way we can get them. Second half, we moved the ball a little better. We stalled in the red zone a couple times. We had great field position from our defense giving us field position, or we did block a field goal that gave us a short field. We stripped a guy on the kickoff. We scored, we kicked off and got the ensuing kickoff right back in possession at midfield. So we had great field position. We just didn't take advantage of it. We came away with 0 points and turned it over on downs twice and had to settle for 3 field goals throughout the day as opposed to touchdowns. So that's a lot of points we kind of left on the field, but we're able to put enough points on the board to come away with the victory. And any way you can come away with a victory is fine by me.
Before we dive into that game anymore, 20th win in a row at home. That's an unbelievable number, and you're probably in the midst of the season, probably haven't even had a chance to put that into context. But when you think about the number of different teams over the past several years that encompasses, how amazing is that number?
Well, with everyone talking about it as much as they have been, I guess it's pretty awesome. But I try to focus, as you know, Rob, we've talked a lot in the past. Our goal is to go 1-0 each week, and we got to take it on the road too, man. We got to win on the road. So hopefully we can, play at the level that we play in our home stadium when we do take it on the road. So I guess it's great when it does stretch over a span of a few seasons, and a lot of guys have a lot to do with that. Our coaching staff, obviously, our strength staff, our training staff, keeping our guys healthy enough to be able to go out there and compete. But, and our guys like playing at home. I would say a lot of teams would say the same thing. You're just a little more comfortable. You're not traveling. You're not taking long bus rides. You're not sitting in hotels. You're not, depending on when the time is of the day of the game. Sometimes when you're in a hotel and it's a 3:30 or 6 o'clock game, it's just different when you're home and you're not sitting in a hotel and those type of things. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully we can just keep it going, but our next game's away. So we'll worry about that when we get back into home stadium down the road.
You touched on, let's just start on the defense. You hold Albany to only 154 yards, 52 on the ground. And as you said, after that initial drive, you guys pretty much dominated on that side of the ball. What was the game plan to kind of bottle them up?
Yeah, our game plan is pretty much the same going into each and every game. We've talked about that as well, Rob. I sound like a broken record at times. We want to try to make a team one-dimensional. We want to stop the run. We try to do the best job we can in stopping the run. And then once you do that, if they're going to start throwing a little more, you got to be able to defend the pass. And, our guys have been doing a good job. The defense each week is just getting a little better. We rotate a lot of guys through. I think they only played 18 or 19 plays in the first half. So, we were able to control the ball on the offensive side of things, even though we didn't have a lot of points to show for it. But if you're only playing, 20 plays in the first half, then you should be fresh and ready to go in the second half when you really need it. And our guys were able to do that. And like I said, we're rotating a lot of guys through. We have some different weapons and certain, some guys that change things up. We have some bigger guys up front, and then we have some, not so big guys, but a little bit of change of tempo as far as the ability to rush off the edge. We put some linebackers in some pass rush situations. So just a different change up for the offensive tackle, blocking a 270-pound guy versus a 225-pound guy with a little different athleticism. And linebackers, Hartzell had another great game. So we're excited about what Shane's doing along with the guys that surround him. And the back end's getting better. Zamir Dawu had an interception for us on the sideline, which gave us another short field. And we had a couple other passes defended, maybe a couple that we could have come down with, maybe get another interception or two. But our guys have coming along on that side of the ball really well. And knock on wood, we're staying relatively healthy. We had some guys that missed a few games here and there, but nobody's, we have one guy out with season ending, number 92. One of our DNs hasn't played the last few weeks. He's done for the year. But other than that, we're able to rotate guys through and hopefully keep them fresh.
Offensively, as you said, maybe not the numbers that you guys have been putting up, only 256 yards in the game, but you made enough plays. Luke Colella continued to have a great year, kind of did what he did, 6 catches, 107 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. Just talk about the scoring plays that he was able to make.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good receiver. He practices hard. Again, we've talked about that. He and Pat seem to have a good relationship with timing, and Pat looks for him when it's there, and he's able to get behind people, and then Pat does a good job airing it out and giving him space to just hopefully have enough speed to run underneath it. So those were two big plays because they were stopping the run. We didn't run the ball very well either when you look at it statistically. I thought we had some good things going in the run game at some point, at some times, but when you, add the sacks into it and all those things, it's going to take some of that yardage away. But Luke's doing a great job. Him and Pat seem to have real good chemistry for only being together for a short period of time. I know Luke has mentioned this in some of the interviews he's had. Pat's from Ohio, Luke's from Pittsburgh. So on the way home one time, Pat reached out to Luke, hey, I'm coming through Pittsburgh. Why don't we get together and throw a little bit? So they did that a few times when they weren't even on campus together, when they were traveling back and forth to Pittsburgh and to East Cleveland from Solon, Ohio. So they developed that bond early on as far as trying to, get that chemistry down, and they worked hard at it, and they both practice really well. And it carries over onto Saturday.
Touch on special teams. We've talked a lot about the impact Jabril has made this year, and he's leading the country now. And kick returns had another 70-yarder on Saturday. But the guy that we really haven't touched on is Braden Reed, your punt returner, who set up some scores a week ago and then had another nice game on Saturday. Just talk about what he's been able to bring in the punt return game.
Yeah, again, that has also allowed us to have really good field position when he, catches it at our 30 and brings it back to midfield and those type of things. Tanner Maddox was our guy, but then Tanner had a little injury, so we switched it over. And Tanner's our backup quarterback, so we kind of rather not have him back there, but he was good at it. And then Braden, was the backup as a true freshman. And when Tanner was out a couple games, as far as not putting that extra pressure on him physically, we put Braden in there, and he's taken advantage of the opportunity, to say the least. He does a good job fielding it. He did muff one this week, but fortunately we were able to jump on it and recover it. But as far as what he does a good job making the first guy miss, and then he's learned to do a good job getting north and south. When you get a young guy in there, sometimes some of the success they have in high school, they're just better or faster than people, and they can go east and west a little bit and get around things. Not in this level, So he did that at one or two of his first returns where he went a little sideways on us, and we're like, Braden, you got to make a move, put your foot in the ground, and get a first down, get north and south. And he's done a great job since. So he's been a really nice add, and our special teams have been playing pretty well. Couple good punt returns, the 70-yard kick return, and then the blocked field goal have really done a good job giving us that short field and that great field position that you're looking for.
All right, Mark, bye week ahead. So enjoy the bye week, and look forward to talking again.